Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for our last session of Project Power's Success Unmeasured conference. My name is Sherelle Bethel, and I worked on Project Power for 4 years and recently transitioned to the PTI director position here at Peak. Project Power is funded by the Rehabilitation Service Administration, which supports parent centers in Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, and Utah to build capacity for transitioning youth with disabilities and their families. If you are a Region D2 Parent Center here today and you have not applied for the mini grant yet, you have until the close of business Friday to get that submitted. Quinn will put a link in the chat at some point throughout this presentation, probably towards the end. To get the best experience, please keep your mics off unless you're asking a question. You'll be muted for most of the presentation, so you can also use the chat to ask your questions, and we will bring them to the presenter's attention. If you prefer to ask your questions out loud, please use the raise hand function in the reaction section at the bottom of the screen, and we'll also have closed captioning available. This webinar is being recorded, and at the end of the session, we will send out a recording along with the survey for you to fill out. We will also put the link to the survey in the chat about 5 minutes before the end of the webinar. That one is just a one-question survey. We're also going to send you out, if you are here for other sessions, a whole evaluation for the overall conference, and that will be in the chat, but we'll also send that to you in an email. The most important thing is to fill out that first one-question survey. Today's session is about building capacity, specifically about how to build capacity and support a person with a disability when your family doesn't have the ability to or understand how to support them. We will hear from Jocelyn Roy, who with the support of the Wayfaring Band will share her journey. Jocelyn was born in Stockton, California, and moved to Denver at 3. She has a mild brain injury and an intellectual and developmental disability with mental health disorders. Jocelyn travels with the Wayfaring Band and co-facilitates the Black, Indigenous, and People of Color Caucus Group. She serves on the board of directors for the band and creates portraits as a digital artist at Access Gallery. In 2022, Jocelyn earned a peer-to-peer yoga instructor certificate and teaches at Guided by Humanity. Known as the Smoothie Bus Queen, she also works as Smoothie Bus. After losing her mom, she lived independently for 4 years and now lives with her fiance, Jeremiah. Jocelyn, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I just want to say if you guys can hold your questions after my presentation so I can have it flow and everything, if that's perfectly okay. But to begin, as Sherelle said, my name is Jocelyn Roy. I am an award-winning artist. Okay, winning artist, a friend to many allies, and someone who experienced IDD, which stands for intellectual and developmental disabilities. At times, having a disability has made it difficult for me to find my place into this world. Disputes of the different challenges I have encouraged, I remain resilient and continue to find lots of successful in my life. I know I achieved what I would. I know my achievements would not have been possible without the support system of my friends and my family that I have created. Their brief and my encouragement encouraged me to believe in myself and experience my passions in ways that I never dreamed of. Before I speak more about my importance of community, I would like to take the moment to thank the Peaks Parents Center for giving me the opportunity to share my story. I hope that it will remind you of the values of supporting one another and empower surround yourselves with people who recognize and uplifts you, brings to the table. There is a saying, sitting at my table and knowing who I am. I believe that at the table, you will find the most important people in my story. Each person supports me in different ways and has a role in my ongoing journey and success. Like Sherelle said, I was born in Stockton, California, but moved to Colorado at the time I was 3 years old. I was raised by a single mother along with a brother who also experienced a disability. For as long as I can remember, my mom was the go-to person. She was my biggest fan and always encouraged me to create my own path in life. Most most importantly, she was always there for me. She took care of me emotionally, physically, especially when I had a brain injury. The way she loved me, she showed me how to love and support others. Growing up with growing up, we never had a full understanding of my disability. I was tested at a young age and placed in special ed classes due to having a low IQ. The testing did not give a full picture of my disability. Resources I would need inside and out of the classroom, which led me to sometimes struggle with reading and writing and connecting with others in school. My voice is a part of my identity that has challenged authentic connections building. Although I have although I know it's part of what makes me me. I find people overuse the words adorable, it's irritable, adorable and in a inability to acknowledge any else about me and very frustrating. The way I am at the time to communicate to or refer to as a child denies my maternal and all amazing things I have been able to accomplish. One person I connected with early of my very early on was my friend Brittany. Brittany and I met in kindergarten, and I have been best friends with her for over 30 years. Meeting Brittany was one of the first times I actually understand the importance of inclusivity, having her by my side, changing my whole school experience. After elementary school, Brittany and I were worried that we would be placed in different schools and we would never see each other again. Much to our surprise, we were placed in the same schools and have continued our great friends ever since. It was really nice to share a friendship with someone who understood me as a in a deeper level because of our shared interests. Both of us having a disability. My connection with Brittany showed me how to value of looking others for love and support and very early on. As we began to learn about my disability, the way it was impact my day-to-day life, my mom believed it was important for me to gain access to more community resources such as Rocky Mountain Human Services, Rocky um, RMHC supporting me finding a job and plugging me into the community organizations. And as I began forming strong connections with friends and mentors in my life, they began to invite me into spaces that meant a lot to them and now means a lot to me. Brittany introduced me to Access Gallery, which at the time it was known as VSA. Access Gallery is a nonprofit that opens doors for creativity, educational, and economic opportunities for people with disabilities to access, experiencing, and benefit from the arts. Being a part of Access Gallery gave me a chance to explore my creativity side in a space that values disabilities justice the same way I do, as well as being able to spend more time with Brittany and how and get to know each other even more in a very text as a artist. The more I learned about my creative gift, I began to create my new dream for my life. Week was centered around pursuing my art. My story shifted in 2014, which my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, disputing with the difficult seeing a parent experiencing an illness. I was grateful for the opportunity to take care of her in the same way she did for me all of my life. It brought me comfort to know that she didn't that she did everything she could to make sure I would be okay without her. After losing my mom, it was difficult to create a new support system. At the time, it was hard to find people you can truly trust and rely on. Something I have learned in building a support system for the ground up is surrounding yourself with positive people. The idea alone the idea alone led me led me to amazing connections that have lasted me for many years. Missing my mom has been difficult because I have noticed that I found a lot of traits I loved about her and most people that that surrounds me. When my mom was diagnosed, I found a relationship with Access Galleries weakened me, but felt the spirit feel but felt her spirit telling me to go back after she passed. I always imagined to I always imagined a life with my mom by my side, but I knew her spirit is with me always and continues to lead me into amazing people and opportunities. Returning to Access Gallery Maine reminded me to reminded me of loving for the arts and encountered encouraged me to continue exploring my creativity. During the pandemic, I utilized being stuck at home at the time exploring my new artist medium. Although I didn't have no access to a lot of materials, I was able to teach myself how to create digital art on my iPad, which is now my medium I use most. In a way, art saved my life. If if it hasn't been a tool, it has been a tool that allows me to see the world from the different perspectives, inspirations for my art to come from anything that gives me good energy. I often find myself creating portraits of people or animals, but likely exploring anything that feels right. A lot of people that I enjoy drawing, YouTube content creators that share their experience about having a disability. I love helping people to tell their stories in a creative way. I find myself, I find my portraits allowing me to draw and portraits and others and different that they might not see themselves. I hope my art my work can be a tool for others. So encouraging them to view the world in more than positive and open-minded ways. Being being able to draw people and capture their energy, colors, lines, shapes, allowing me to contribute my creativity passions with my active active work. Sorry. I am constantly pushing myself to learn more about digital art and hoping to grow as an artist. I am currently trying out new techniques such as tracing and other designs. I am grateful for Access Gallery pushing me to explore my creativity and the creativity for the opportunities that has been presented to me. My work has been featured on a Power Box, Colfax, and Colfax and wait, let's try again. My work has been featured on a Power Box on Colfax, was chosen out of 200 applicants and displayed on one of the RTD's bus stops by Denver Public Art at the beginning of next year. Although it has been an honor to accept this award for my work, the important value to me is more important value as an artist represents, especially for a disabled community. In the future, I hope to see a representation from our community, especially from people I have gotten to got to know personally all through Access Gallery and other community groups. Everyone deserves the opportunity to shine and share their unique gifts and qualities. Sharing your story with others is a perfect reminder that you are incredible and unique. There's no other story in the world that is the same as yours. From this, we are able to learn from one another and create a world where all where all the where all of us have placed. One of the proudest moments in my life was making history in Ohio. Disability Empowerment Network supporting me to make history as a Black disabled artist by having me as a featured artist in their show. Another highlight of this is my artistic career. So far, having an art featured on a clothing line in Denver Fashion Week. This opportunity became a reality after designers who recycled material to create clothing and purchased a piece of my artwork. We then worked together to overlap our creativity, finding a way to print my artwork onto their clothes, which I was able to model. The night was huge success, and I was even given the opportunity to be featured in Fox News, independent outlets, and Channel 9 News.
What's going on, guys? It's you guessed it, Silas, back with Stay Looped Media, news with heart. I am so excited. We are here at Denver Fashion Week for their all-inclusive fashion show. The focus of tonight's show is designers and models with disabilities who are breaking barriers in this industry. I'm all fancied out. We're going to see a lot of people all fancied out, and we might even get an interview with a couple of them. Let's do this. I am here with
Jocelyn Roy.
Jocelyn Roy, and what are you doing here?
I am a model designer at the Everybody line.
Awesome. And how'd you get started with that?
I got started with it when I was started working for Mary Sims at the Smoothie Bus, the yoga training, and then now I'm peer-to-peer support specialist at Guided by Humanity.
What's your favorite part about this?
My favorite part is trying something new and doing something different than I normally do. Fashion means to me is I am my own person and I am the person that creates her own style without anybody judging me.
How would you describe the kind of style that you're designing?
I'm a digital artist, so first time ever in my life that my digital art is on fabric.
And how's that process been?
It's been pretty tough, but I got through it.
So today, the Fashion Week theme is all-inclusive fashion. What does inclusivity mean to you in terms of the fashion world?
There's a lot of people that have trouble with buttons and zippers, and so we're making everything easy for everybody that has issues with parts of what zippers and buttons, so it made it adaptable for their needs.
Fashion should be accessible to all. Everyone deserves to look good.
Exactly.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you out there on the runway. You're going to do great, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that was Denver Fashion Week. It was just so incredible to see so much. What's going on, guys? It's you guessed it.
Okay, this opportunity would not been. I am so sorry. This opportunity has not been possible without the support of my friend Mary. Mary and I met in 2021, and ever since we had a really special relationship. She introduced me to Guided by Humanity, which is a community focused on nonprofit that offers yoga classes to people of all abilities. My peers and I have been able to learn how to do yoga in a chair or on a mat or whatever your disability allows. 6 months into my time with Guided by Humanity, I was given a peer support specialist award, and now I lead classes. It's such as an honor of receiving the award of a true reflection of that I was able to accomplish with Mary, the love and support. She really believed in me and encouraged me to explore all my passions. My relationship with Mary expands much further than such just Guided by Humanity. We have now worked together for 3 years and even started the Smoothie Bus. This job means so much to me. It allows me to do something I love, and also in my social life in the same place. My first day on the job, I did not want to go, but luckily my counselor pushed me to show up, and I am so grateful. I am so glad she did, because working on the Smoothie Bus is one of the best experience I ever had. Being a part of the workforce where you feel truly valued and able to take on responsibilities and obstacles that disability communities face often. I am grateful to Mary for the value me as a friend and also seeing all that I bring to the table as an employee. She nurtured me in a workplace where I thrive and learn and have contributions and value. My favorite part of the job is every day is different. The bus is constantly in a new location, allowing me to meet new people, which brings me so much joy. I love being able to talk and connect with different communities to extend that I have began learning more about public speaking. I am grateful for the community members such as Joanne and Gayanne, who taught me so much about public speaking and learning how to share my story. Being being teased about my voice throughout my life has made me hesitant to speak in public, but with the support and encouraging from my network, I know that my voice is one of the greatest assets. It allows me to do it. It allows me not stand up for myself, but also for others in my community. I know I lead by example and showing that it was not about my voice itself, but the words coming out of my mouth. It's not about focusing on what listening to me, but rather making sure I speak my mind, especially if I consider the well-being of myself and others. Before I learned about my passion of art, my dream was to be a lawyer and fight for disability justice. Although that path shifted, I am grateful for all the different ways I was able to explore my allyship in my life. As an important role of the allows me to begin my personal knowledge and experiencing with a disability on the table, being part of the board for the Wayfaring band. The band is an organization focusing on creativity, inclusive travel, and adventure. While exploring my attributes education, I never dreamed of taking on a role like a board member. Given that I typically like to sit back and let others take the lead. Being a board member has been given the opportunity to learn about the ways of nonprofits runs behind the scenes of the work. Others to better understand what we need to succeed. It has been built up by confidence, encourages me to share my ideas in a group setting, like the band's By Caucus group, a group within the band uh, that attempts the voices experience its BIPOC members. As I mentioned before, being at the workplace where you feel truly valued and are able to take the responsibilities in an obstacle that disability community faces. The matters is very important to me, and I have ever been able to help teach Denver businesses about the importance about enablism, the workplace, to helping to facilitate the Wayfaring band, everybody, and train. The training teaches people about disability justice, inclusivity, look like in the workplace. The knowledge lays on the foundation for businesses to hire more folks with disabilities and overall teach teach all of us how to be better humans. I originally made my way into the Wayfaring band as a traveler, or what would you like to call it? A band member. Just like she did at Access Gallery, Brittany was the first one to tell me about the Wayfaring band. After hearing about the trip Brittany went on with the Wayfaring band to Texas, I immediately knew I wanted to learn more. My trip was with the Wayfaring band. My first trip with the Wayfaring band to Ann Arbor, Michigan. During the trip, I was able to explore having a novel experience, making lots of new friends, and having nice getaways for everyday life. I have been with I have been able to form really deep relationship with Kindle, the executive director, who is now a very important part of my so, support system. I was able to introduce Kindle to my mom before she passed. It was in the way she was there for me after the loss of my mom to let me know that she was someone I could trust. To me, an important part of community is showing up for one another and at times of needs. Kindle and the Wayfaring band were not only there for me after I lost my mom, but during COVID, the lockdown, the narrative of the war after. That that's what matters. That's what matters the most. And the people who show up, the joy and the grief. When I was thinking about joy, I was thinking about the most important people in my life. And Jeremiah, my fiance. Jeremiah and I met through Mary after both of us attended the Phantom of the Opera themed mental health events. Although not, although now I knew, although I knew he is the one for me, everything I ever wanted. I wanted in a partner, and we started out as friends. As great love still, there the more times we spent together, the more I fell in love with him. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people in my life I naturally are drawn to have as a characteristic I found in my mom. Jeremiah is gentle, open. He loves to be around other people, and he is there for me and very handsome. Jeremiah and I lived 6 doors down from each other in the same apartment, but never knew each other more than just passing every now and then. The time of people connections, timing of people connections can be funny, but seems to work out works out the way they are supposed to. If I would if I have never met Mary, she would have never introduced me to Jeremiah, who I can't imagine life without. This occurrence allows me to deepen the embraces places of making connections. We both enjoy arts. Jeremiah is an incredible gifted musically, and we support each other on our attributes, and we invite each other to our different worlds to only expand the network, but better understanding one another. I know I have no I have now been to have I have been more to live music events than I ever before. Jeremiah even wants to model my artwork. Jeremiah introduced me to his family, who became my family. His mom is so nice and treats me like a daughter of her own. His family shows up for me in the good and the bad, and and have really taken care of me, which has been so after losing so much and an important piece of my after losing such an important piece of my life. learning is important to both of us, and we are now imagining what that would look like one day. Regarding, we are both having beautiful legacies to leave behind for me. Leave behind. For me, I know my art will be a part of it. For now, we are focusing on supporting each other in our dreams. I am grateful for my community because having a support me and creating a life I never envisioned myself. When I when I dreamt about how my life would go, I always imagined I would go and take a job, any job, or I could find and learn to be okay with it. I never imagined I would be able to pursue my art as a career in addition of all the other passions I have found. For now, I am planning a wedding and thinking about a beautiful life. Jeremiah and I are continue creating. Jeremiah and I will continue creating together, finding more people who can support us and us them, and growing in a new way on a daily basis. If If you can take anything from my story, let it be the value of showing up for people, for the community, for yourself. It can change directions of the lives, and those who loved pursue your dreams unapologetic, and take the one you love with you as take the one. Let me say this again. Take the ones you love with you as climbing your way to the top. We need one another now more than ever. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I am Jocelyn Roy. I'm an award-winning artist, a friend to many allies, and someone living her best life. Living her best sorry, someone living the life of their dreams. And thank you. Does anybody have questions for me?
If anyone has questions, you can just throw them in the chat or use the hand raise function. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. That was great.
Jocelyn, I have a question for you, and I don't know if it's for you or for the Wayfaring band, so I'll ask both. So I feel your journey has been hard, and I know that it sounds like your mom had you very connected even when you were younger. So what advice would you give to someone who maybe didn't have those connections and, is trying to find their community and doesn't know where to start? Oh, and you're on mute.
Sorry. Well, I can just say you can just find your community wherever your passion is. And there's so many things in this world that there's so many like opportunities that other people don't even know about. And like for instance, like being a part of in a disability community is really powerful, especially if you have a disability. And I don't have a disability, but want to be connected with a person with a disability. I believe that whatever your passion is and whatever your dreams are, you can pursue the highest, and don't let no one tell you anything different, and just follow your heart and your desires, and it could be anything. And that's how my community kept growing, was because I met so many different people in my lifetime, especially after the pandemic. I could say that, just having someone, just doing what you love and finding who you are, and that's the best way you can find your community.
Thank you. That was a great answer.
We have a question in the chat. What would you tell parents who have a hard time letting their children go to find their community?
Okay, so you love your babies, and I'm gonna be really, really real with you about this. You guys are not gonna parents are not gonna last forever, and you gotta let your child, even if they have a severe disability or just a moderate or what kind of disability, whatever, or whatever their whatever themselves are. Like, I could just say you gotta let them explore and let them do what they can. Don't tell them that they can't do it. Just encourage them and just let them find their way in life. I mean, for me, I never thought in a million years that I would be sitting here talking to parents today about, I lost my mom it'll be 5 years in December. And my mom didn't believe, well, I can say she was my encourager, but she always didn't think graphic design was realistic, or acting or anything like that was realistic for me. All I can say is you just don't tell your child that you can't do this. You need to just encourage them to be who they are. Doesn't matter if they want to change religion, they want to change whatever makes them happy. You gotta support them no matter what, and that's how they can succeed. And then you can rest to know that my kid is okay, no matter the age. If that answers the question.
Great. And as Cheryl mentioned, I'm going to put 2 links in the chat right now while you guys think of any other questions. One is the session survey for today. It's only 1 question. If you could take that now, we would appreciate it. And then the other one is the overall conference evaluation. You can take that now if you want, and we'll also be sending it out via email.
And I also want to say one more thing too. Just be proud of your person, the one you're taking care of. Be proud of them. Be proud of your babies, because they can surprise you one of these days. Seriously, this world is so short. You can't just tell your child you can't do this, and they can. They'll surprise you in so many ways, and you never know what this life is like. Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. I didn't expect to have this in my life. I didn't expect to be a model or being an artist or anything like that. I thought I was just going to live in my mom's basement until I turned 100, till about 60 years old, but that wasn't the case for me. It was that I had to grow up faster. I had to grow up faster than I have in my lifetime for these last 5 years. And I'm grateful that I have the biggest community I ever had in my life, and people that support me and love me. And this is so important to have with anybody. It doesn't matter if you're disabled or not. Having support is the best.
Do we have any other questions for Jocelyn? We have one in the chat. When seeking a community for support, trust can sometimes be hard to build due to many reasons. What is one way someone can build trust if they might be scared to, especially with new friends?
Like I said, I have a best friend. So I know my best friend since kindergarten. So I learned how to trust community through my best friend. If that, that helped me a little bit, because without Brittany in my life, I think I wouldn't be where I am today either. And I don't think she would be where she is either without me being her best friend. And so I think you could find your way by trusting, just like, just try something. Like go, like, say if you want to just like do, nowadays they have like meetups, different like meetups and activities. Maybe try one of those kinds of things. That's your interest. And then and trust is kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to say because not everybody's trustworthy. Um, all I can just say is connect with a friend, and then maybe you and your friend can learn how to connect together from different organizations. That's how I became. That's why I started with Access Gallery. My best friend Brittany told me about it. She was nervous about it, and then once I got to being a part of Access Gallery, then she finally got in there, and then she felt comfortable, and then the rest was history with that.
We had a comment that said, "You are fantastic as a parent. I'm proud of you and thank you for encouraging me to have high expectations." All right, any other questions for Jocelyn? Thank you so much for being with us today, Jocelyn. We really appreciate you sharing your story. It was really impactful. So as you can all see, the links are in the chat if you still need any of those for the surveys and the mini grant. And that's it. Thanks again for being with us.
Bye, everyone. And thank you so much, Jocelyn. You were amazing.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Do I log off now?
Yeah.